Hi there, my name is Ash and I like to draw. But do you know what else I like? That's right, participating in ArtFight. But what is ArtFight? To keep it really simple, ArtFight is a big online art trading game that takes place every year during the month of July. Artists from all over the internet can upload references of their own characters, after which they then pick between one of the available teams. And now they can earn points for their teams by drawing other people's characters for them. And when they get attacked, they can then earn even more points by taking revenge and drawing one of the attacker's characters in return. It's not really a contest in the sense that there are prizes or anything, it's more of a way to make a game out of encouraging artists to connect with each other. Now, I participated for the first time last year, but not only did I decide to participate again this year, I also decided to actually get a video out of the deal. And if you're watching this because you found a private message on your ArtFight profile with a link to this video in it, then surprise! Welcome! Hope you enjoyed. So when I came up with doing this video, I gave myself one little rule. Focus on characters with few to no attacks. ArtFight isn't supposed to be a popularity contest, and I want to explore the site and find some unique characters and hopefully pleasantly surprise some people who might not have been expecting to get a lot of attacks, or whose characters are new to the site. Oh, and of course, I'll be linking the ArtFight profile of everyone featured in this video in the description, so you can go check out all their wonderful stuff for yourself. And once we're done, I'll be taking a look at the attacks that I received this year, because I uploaded almost every character I've created on this channel to my ArtFight profile. It'll be interesting to see if any of them got a bit of attention. But, until then, let's get drawing. First up, we'll start somewhere simple with Penn, created by Father Arson, a non-binary tattoo artist according to the description with a soda can for a head? I mean, I like to think I've seen a fair few object head characters, but that one is new to me. I'll be completely real with you though. The primary reason I wanted to draw this character is not so much for the soda can head alone, but for the sheer brilliance of using the actual soda to create the haircut. It's just such a fun idea to create a big eye-covering see-through side-swept hairstyle using a simple aspect of the object that takes the place of the head, and I loved it the instant I saw it. What a total stroke of brilliance, Arson. I even decided to add a few hovering droplets just to give the implication that the soda is still fizzing. There isn't a lot more to say about this drawing that is particularly exciting. Once I read that this character was supposed to be a tattoo artist, I decided to let them live through one of the most universal artist experiences. The dreaded art block. We've all been there, buddy. We've all been there. Now, being an art site on the internet, ArtFight is obviously stuffed with fan characters from every franchise imaginable. And I couldn't go through this year without drawing at least one Dragon Ball fan character. Because, I don't know if you've noticed or if I've mentioned this before, but I like Dragon Ball. That's why Princess Furu here, created by Doomface, caught my attention. See, here's a little Dragon Ball tidbit that doesn't get brought up a lot. Vegeta has a younger brother. Yeah, a wimpy little Saiyan named Tarble, introduced in the Return of Son Goku and Friends special from 2009. By and large, he's kind of a joke character, with the reveal that he's married to a funny looking alien named Gure being used for a punchline. But then here comes Doomface to ask the question, what if Tarble married a Tuffle instead? That would be the humanoid alien race that Bulma, Gohan and Krillin met on their way to Namek in the anime filler episodes, as well as the people who created Baby in Dragon Ball GT and Hachiak in the plan to eradicate all Saiyans and... yeah, let's just move on. At first glance, Tuffles really just kinda look like regular Toriyama-style humans, and I do have to say that Doomface caught Toriyama style on this pretty well, particularly when it comes to these big poofy hairstyles that he was so good at. Much like with Penn, that was one of the reasons I wanted to draw her. Now, strictly speaking, Tuffles aren't really fighters. Most of what we see of them seem to indicate they're more focused on building tech, but I couldn't let the fact that she seems to wear sort of combat suits similar to the suits seen on Cyan Armor pass me by. I mean, who knows, maybe Tarble taught her a few moves. Plus, I'll take any excuse to draw a lady looking badass. I actually did consider drawing her in her full outfit with the purple tunic and all, but I decided against it. Say what you will about the green one-piece suit, but I really think it makes her look very unique compared to many other vaguely humanoid female fighters you might spot in Dragon Ball. The green and purple is just such a cool color combination, but I feel like the purple kinda drowns out everything else when she's wearing the tunic. Oh, and of course, we can't have her going into battle without getting just a little bit scuffed up. Yeah, being pretty doesn't make you immune to a butt-whooping, princess. Anyway, that's Princess Furu. This one was a lot of fun, and I like to think that I gave it a decent bit of ferocity. Say, you know how I have that "do you know what else I like" catchphrase that I do at the beginning of every video? Well, do you know what else I like? Tabletop role-playing. When you hear that, the first thing you're gonna think of is probably Dungeons & Dragons, but there are thousands upon thousands of other systems out there made to fit with just about every tone and genre you can imagine. Even some downright bizarre ones like Sentai and Sensibility, a game that its own publisher describes as, what if Jane Austen wrote Power Rangers? And if you don't think that's a hilarious description that immediately makes you curious, then I'm not sure we can be friends. In any case, StateMoon here apparently saw this and had the idea for tokusatsu-style hero with a pocket watch and fencing theme. And I loved this idea right away. To be honest, my experience with tokusatsu shows is fairly limited. I didn't really watch Power Rangers growing up, and I only saw half a season of one Super Sentai show. Although I did watch most of the 2000s Kamen Rider series. Kamen Rider Ryuki was my favorite. But one thing I learned from watching these is that as much as it is cool to see these heroes with all their transformation trinkets, gadgets, crazy armor and whatnot, I'll always be a less is more kind of guy when it comes to Sentai designs. I mean, some of these characters look like they fell into a vat full of superglue and had a toy box dumped on them. Nah, give me some simple iconography, a uniform look with slight variations and some strong individual colors, and I'm as happy as a clam. So yeah, Clockwork Yellow here ticks off all of those boxes for me. And the fact that she has a face that kinda reminds me of DC Comics Clock King is just a cherry on top. I obviously wanted some focus on the fact that she's a fencer, so I had to draw her brandishing her épée, if that's how you say it. And then I suddenly had a silly idea. What if I gave her a second, shorter épée, so she was essentially wielding a minute hand and an hour hand in combat? And yes, fencing purists, I realize that this makes no goddamn sense, but come on man, this is tokusatsu. Nothing needs to make sense. As a finishing touch, I added a little bit of clockwork behind her just to drive the theme home, and voila! We have ourselves a really nice character profile picture. And now I just wonder what kind of weaponry and other clocks the other rangers might base their designs on. Get drawing, StateMoon. I'm sure you'll come up with more great rangers. You know something that heroes really like to do? That's right, fight monsters and bosses. So I think it's about time we drew one of those. And wouldn't you know it, here comes Stress is Real and their Legend of Zelda fan character King Faust to save the day. Heck yeah, I love the look of this guy right away, even if I can't really tell what the stuff the skeleton parts are floating inside of are supposed to be. The arrows sticking out of the shoulders imply kind of slime, but it could also be some sort of ethereal ghost body, which would make him pretty unique as a top-heavy, physically imposing bruiser of a ghost. Now, according to Stress is Real, the character is intended to be an optional fight that opens up a special shop after beating him, and you know, I can see it. This is a design that, while creepy in concept, is just cartoony and goofy enough that he can look downright friendly. It's kinda like if Glob Herman from X-Men and Sir Daniel Fortescue got rolled up into one wholesome dude. I felt like I had to give him a boisterous pose, like he's openly daring you to challenge him. It's not the most interesting thing I could have done, but it's the one that best fits the vibe I got from him. If the skeleton parts were more realistic and his proportions were less cartoony, he could be a completely terrifying monster to look at. But I think his design implies that he's intended for some of the cartoonier Zelda games, like Awakening, the Oracle games, Link Between Worlds, or Echoes of Wisdom. Now in retrospect, I wish I'd gone full body and done more of an action pose with him, but I'm still pretty happy with this. I really wanted him to puff his chest out and give the air of someone who was once a mighty king, and really holding on to that bombastic nature, even in his current state as a ghostly arrow salesman. But seriously though, I want to see more monsters from you, Stress. If this guy's any indication, they're gonna be a lot of fun. So with every character I've drawn so far, I've given you some kind of justification for why I drew them, like there's something interesting about their design, or it's a funny idea, or they're based on a franchise that I'm into, but this next character, I'm just gonna be honest, I have no such excuse. I just think she's cute. AvidGladiator doesn't tell us a lot about her character Kimberly Clark, or Kim as she's just called, but I mean, look at her! She strikes adorable poses, she's really attractive, and she tells stupid jokes. I'm telling you, this girl had my aromantic ass feeling things at first sight. So yeah, to be real, I don't really have a lot of interesting notes about drawing her. I just knew I thought she was cute and she deserved a happy pose. So, looking at her bio saying she likes soft indie music, I imagine she'd be the kind of girl to happily sway along to whatever she's got in her earbuds in public and not give a lick about what people think of her. I like to imagine what she's listening to is still something nice, upbeat and danceable though. I mean, indie doesn't have to mean dour and quiet. Maybe it's something like Witch's Wand by Sloan. I don't know, you tell me in the comments what you think she's listening to. The most important part of drawing this character to me was to keep her skinny and long-limbed. She's not quite all knees and elbows, but definitely in that category, and I think it makes her even more adorable. But yeah, seriously, just absolutely stellar work on this character, Avid. Love at first sight. Now who wants to draw a silly little guy? I want to draw a silly little guy. Good thing TheNimanator has the silliest of little guys available. Abacus Fractal, the mathematician. Look at this little Rayman creature, how can I not love him? Speaking of Rayman, the first time I played one of his games, I played that terrible edutainment one where they basically just slapped a bunch of math problems onto stages from the first game. And seeing this guy reminded me of the magician as he appeared back then. So I was trying to go for a little bit of that same energy. I also thought that since this was my point of inspiration, it would be fun to imagine him as the star of an old edutainment game. Imagine something like The Mathematical World of Abacus. I could totally imagine booting that up on an old Windows 98 machine back in the day. Ugh. I think just saying that made one of my bones turn to dust. So I gave him a little game window and had him pop out of it a bit just to feel a bit more dynamic. I tried to mess a little bit with using a slight mosaic filter on the line art to mimic the look of an old hand-drawn 2D sprite, like something you might see in a humongous entertainment game, but I should have planned that better ahead of time for a stronger effect. Lesson learned. I like to imagine that his game would be all about gathering his supplies for a big magic show and doing it through a series of mini-games where you have to in some way count, add, subtract, and multiply stuff he needs. Something like, I need 3 cups per ball for this trick. How many cups should I bring? That kind of stuff. Oh, and I just want to note, the creases in his scarf mimicking his mouth movements for each expression is so good. What a great bit of design. I for one think this would be a lovely little entertainment game. One of those really good ones that YouTubers make nostalgic essays about decades later. Yeah, that feels about right. Alright, 7 characters is a lot, so how about we round things off with the 8th character being a type of character that I really know nothing about. Like, say, a magical girl. Remember what I said earlier about tokusatsu characters? Yeah, I feel the same way about magical girls. With the big focus on having tons of frills, curls, ribbons, and accessories, I tend to find them horribly over-designed to the point where it gets distracting. Not so much with Monique here though, created by humanfinny. Look at this stylish gal. Although, I'll be honest, when I first saw her, I thought she was a Pokemon trainer. I mean, you look at that and tell me that doesn't look more like a Pokeball than a pocket mirror. I think the appeal of Monique here really lies in the very stylish but still simplistic outfit she gets when transformed. She has all the magical girl staples like heels and hearts all over, sure, but they've been placed just sparingly enough that I don't find them distracting. And with her red on dark blue coloring, they really managed to pop. In general, I just really like her color scheme. The fact that her jeans, her eyes, and her nail polish all have the same blue color really makes it seem like a little bit of the regular girl she actually is peeking out from underneath the design. I think that was a very smart choice. Also, the fact that she has big heart-shaped hair buns, a heart-shaped hairline, and that her hair is even still vaguely heart-shaped when she's not in costume. Brilliant. All of it just brilliant. I love it. It makes sense too. humanfinny describes this character as a fashion diva by day and an unwilling magical girl by night, so I like to think that she has some say in what she looks like all geared up, and went for something a bit more unique and sleek rather than just being frilly for the sake of being frilly. And what can I say? I can't help but love the idea of a magical girl who suffers from a minor case of resting bitch face. It's just a really funny thing to see in a genre that otherwise focuses so much on being as visually cutesy as possible. I wonder if that will ever be a popular idea. Well, a stylish magical girl needs a stylish pose, so here we go. Won't catch her flying around trying to be all cutie patootie. Alright, I think that'll do. 8 characters is more than plenty. Now let's take a look at how many attacks I got. Oh, wow, that's a lot more than I expected. So, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video then? Cool? Yeah. Cool. And until that next episode happens, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments below about which one of these characters, and which drawings of those characters were your personal favorites. See you in the next one, folks, and bye bye.